Anthony from Hasler'sNet here, and today we're looking at 4 figures from the Dragon Ball Evolve line from Bandai. And this is, I guess, because they're doing multiple lines, this is the entry-level line. This is a $10 figure line. And I have to say, these are a lot better than the original series they did like back in the 90s. The 90s series, they had like the arms moved. That was it. So these have a lot more articulation, and for a $10 action figure, you can see they look pretty good. Starting from the left, we have Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, or Blue, Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. We have Legendary Super Saiyan Broly. We have Jiren, and then we have Golden Frieza. Now, to show you what the box typically looks like, for the second series, which includes Broly, or sorry, not Broly, Jiren and Golden Frieza, they look like this. They have their picture, they have the blister, and then, as you see, Goku is the other one from Series 2. The other one from Series 1 is also Goku, but not the Ultra Instinct Goku. So, the box is simple enough, and I mean, again, $10. If you go to the $20 version of the figures, those have, you can replace the heads, the arms, the hands. Sometimes they have extra pieces for build a character. It just depends on what you end up getting. But for these, $10 entry fee. If you're just like looking for something to give to the kids, it's actually a pretty sweet little figure. So I'm going to show you each of these figures, a little bit of the articulation, and then the detail, which is, again, compared to the first series they did back in the late 90s, just superior. So we're going to move these guys out of the way here. And one thing I would like to mention is, unless you're perfect about it, they're really hard to stand up. But here is Vegeta. And he is just not happy. There's no other way to say it. He is not happy. Not in the slightest. But the other thing the other series had was the clothes come off. This is not something that happens here. So, I mean, you can see there is just it's not overly detailed, but it is just way better than it used to be. Now, Vegeta, his head goes the 360, his chest goes 360. Whose chest does this, I don't know, but it does. His arms also, his wrists, his shoulders. I'm not quite sure. Again, physically impossible, but it can be done. And I assume they're all attached through ball joints, because almost every piece does this. I mean, you can clearly see one in the feet, and the feet even have a little bit of the tilt. But Vegeta, other than, I mean, because you can notice on all these figures there's a little bit of a scuffing. Obviously, the painting isn't the best, but again, it's a $10 figure. But the detail. Now, no items come with these. Again, $10, and I'm going to keep saying it. This is why these things lack certain things. But that is humanly impossible. But again, $10. So I like the detail for what there is. It is fantastic. And I actually have the first series Goku, but I figured, well, if I'm going to get figures of ones I don't have, I'm going to, get the newer ones. So this is Vegeta. I'm going to put him over here. Next is Broly. He is also very angry. He just has that, I'm screaming into the air, play heavy metal music now. His head, because of the hair, doesn't really go around a lot. But, I mean, you can see in here the ball joint in his arm. It is quite noticeable. But, of course, his arm has the articulation as Vegeta's. He's got all the specific points to the whatever. Thing here is, this is not on a ball joint, as you see, and this only goes so far. And here's what it looks like inside. These things come apart fairly easy, and the bits are a bit loose. And so, as you see from Broly, he has the ear from that animal. If you saw the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie, you can see he's wearing the earpiece. It does not come off. So, any details of clothing, like Jiren's shirt there, do not come off. And, of course, none of them are made where they can hold weapons or anything, and there's no weapons that comes with them, so, but, I mean, clearly, detail-wise, it is fantastic compared to the old days, so I definitely, I'm super impressed. You can even see a scar here, again, who bends here, but whatever. It looks like there's no other, yeah, so there's probably So if we look at Vegeta, he twists at his waist, but Broly does not because of the ear. But you can still do some pretty interesting things with it. But let's put him back. So then we have Jiren. And now, if you saw the last saga of the Dragon Ball Super series, Jiren was the big, I wanted to say big bad, but technically he's a good guy. But he kind of went bad. But he's what we call the alien gray in like alien lore here in on Earth. So, you know, this is, I guess, the concept from which he came. And he is a bit stiffer than the rest of them. Not quite sure why. But pretty much all the same articulation, all the same types of joints. His head does that. But this dude is buff, like super buff. But I mean, I would like to say it's not the same mold as Broly. I mean, maybe the bottom piece might be, but it doesn't look like it, because it looks like they're all different parts. Which, I mean, that sure beats the old He-Man model, or the He-Man style of using the same mold and just changing the color on it. But yeah, Jiren looks pretty sweet. This is the torn shirt. Again, it does not come off. It just kind of is there around the waist, of which he does have an actual movable waist. And we're going to put him back. Frieza is probably my favorite one out of the second series, because I think Vegeta was out of my first, just because he has a little bit more articulation. But Frieza, he is really focused. Wherever he's looking at, he is focused. It is his head it does not want to move, which is fine. It's fine. He's stuck in a point. You can bend his arm, but he's such a small piece that I worry about breaking him. I think they think they are making up the difference in size compared to the rest of these guys because of the tail. The tail just moves one way. You can't really rebend it. And, of course, he has the side-to-side thing going on. His legs really don't move very much. You can do this. His feet go all the way around. His shoulders, his arms. Because look at, as you can see, this is kind of already pulling out, and I'm worried about doing too much to it. And this is where I go, yes, again, $10 figure. But Frieza has the chest rotation, no waist, but he can do this. He's head bobbing, heavy metal, yeah. Okay, so Frieza is pretty nifty looking. I should mention that you can adjust the back of the tail, which I realize if you really want to put in some interesting poses, you probably could, using the tail as support. Just the general way in which Frieza poses is, mostly because you need to support it with the back tail. He's so small that he really just doesn't want to stay up. I mean, if I remove the tail, I don't know if I could get him to stand up without making him lean forward to counter the weight. Yeah, and that looks like he's just sad. Yeah, definitely use the tail to keep him up, and that way you can make more spirited poses. The tail's just holding all the weight there. But that is the Dragon Ball Evolve. If you're just looking to collect a figure and a good price for you, and you're just going to pose them, these are perfectly acceptable. Your call, but I like these guys. I like the way they look, and they go with the previous series of figures that they released back in the first generation, back in the 90s. The newer figures, the $20 ones, are actually a little bit larger. They're probably closer to scale to maybe Power Rangers, which is about an inch or two bigger. But definitely, if you're looking to keep things kind of in line with your original collection, these fit the bill. I personally think they're worth the buy.
With that said, tell me in the comments your thoughts on these items. Did you get them? And how was your experience with them? Thanks for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe.